Just thought I'll mention I have this pipe. It's a FMF. I think it was a 60 pipe or something. It should say. Well, it's a 50 pipe. And I was thinking maybe I could put this on my other bike I have. I probably haven't showed too much videos of it. I don't know if it adds power. Wicked. If it don't, it don't. I'm gonna have to make a custom header and everything. But before I do that, I also want to upgrade or slash fix my exhaust. An upgrade because it's gonna be a little better. This is the bike. Has a drum in the front. I haven't cleaned the rust. Probably has flats on both tires, but I put air in them. They're holding pretty good. This is the motor. The $20 engine I bought in the flea market. What else? Look at that. I guess I drilled the bolt, and why did I do that? I don't know. I never finished. And why didn't I have unscrewed off? That could be a problem, or it could be something. Basically, this is the problem I have. This is my exhaust header. It's like an aluminum exhaust header. The gasket's okay and stuff, but if you look at it, see how the pipe has a roundness here? Well, basically this roundness here, you see how big the roundness here? I think I lose actual exhaust. See that? That's blowing all the exhaust because I cleaned it before I put it on, and I'm blowing out exhaust fumes because it's one of these pipes. It's one of these thruster style exhaust pipe. I made a custom little silencer. Not a silencer, but it looks cool on it. Basically, the header sits there. That's okay. The exhaust ain't leaking from the header and stuff. But what happens is this pipe's so fucking heavy, it drags. It starts sagging, and once it starts sagging, this lip here, I already straightened it out once or twice. This right here gets uneven. It's a little warped, not too much, because I did straighten it out. But you can see this one's pushed in more, and this one's pushing the other way. It's like twisted. Basically, it's not straight. And this metal is so thin and cheap from China. Let me take off the light. So thin and cheap from China. Oh, I think we need the light for this video. Yeah, it's just too weak, you know. You gotta make sure they make new thruster exhausts. Just go thicker metal here. You'll probably solve the issue. Another thing is making an attachment just like that other pipe, where you could bolt onto one of these side covers here. Basically what I'm doing now, yeah, I could cut it and then we weld a new one of these, but what I'm going to do is I made this one here, and this part I'm gonna weld inward here, and this side is gonna sit right here, just like that, with the holes lining up and stuff. So it's gonna be all flat, flushed here. Basically, I'm gonna cut it where I marked it, a little bit wider than I need it, but pretty much just bolt it on. See, it lines up pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is cut it, the holes, get some bolts and nuts and bolts, tie it down as tight as possible, the nut and bolts. So basically it's gonna be double as thick as this. So another piece is gonna be here. Hey dogs, relax. It's gonna be double as thick here. And I'm also gonna flapper disc clean up this metal here to be raw metal, and basically squish it, sandwich it, and there's still gonna be some gap here because of the weight's gonna be flexing and stuff. So what I'm gonna do is weld basically on top of here all the way around here to stop exhaust leaks, and basically the metal will be double as thick, and it's gonna be completely flat, straight. And that's why I kind of went bigger too, because if I went smaller, it could, eventually damage and start flexing and bending again. So that's the reason why. And I'm also gonna put a new gasket for it, for the exhaust, and that should be one part of the fix. And then the other part is after I, bolt it down and fix, I'm gonna figure out, after I find where I want it, I'm gonna figure out maybe one of these screws, or maybe this one here. But I'm gonna have to fix this right here, or maybe not this one, because this one's gonna get in the way. So it's gonna have to be this one right here. Build a little bracket going from here up to the exhaust, and then I'm gonna just weld it onto the exhaust for it won't sag and damage my flange again. So that's upgrade number 1 / repair and fix. And the next thing as well is I'm gonna make a custom header and figure out a formation where I could fit that pipe, the one I just showed you in the beginning of the video, and see if that pipe makes this motor go faster. We don't know. For, I'm gonna say, a month and a half or 2 months, the intake was off, and I couldn't even find the intake, but I found it a while ago, so I just bolted it down. These are some nice heavy duty bolts. I really like these. They have these little ridges here. If you ever could find these, get them, because they're probably more stronger. Definitely if they're grade 8. See, if it ever gets stripped, you go with the vice grips, clamp them, and you can always bust them loose. But these never really get stripped, even though this one looks kind of stripped. Believe it or not, it doesn't even have that much play. But anyway, and that's probably because I'm putting the wrong one on there just to make it work. Sometimes it happens like that. But anyway, now I gotta find the carburetor that was on here, because at one point I had a carburetor and I was hitting 37/38. But I swapped the carburetor for another carburetor, and man, it made a huge difference. I went from 37 or 38 all the way to 41 miles. So you gotta understand, look how long the chain is, and then look how the chain tensioner is. So has a lot of, not stress, but tension to the chain / drag and pull. So the chain is slowing down a little bit. I couldn't run this one direct chain. I really would have, but it just didn't work out due to the chain tensioner on the other side / a bunch of other little figurations and things and whatnot. So I ended up welding a chain tensioner here years ago when I got the frame. Probably like the first time I bolted an engine down for it. Actually, this wasn't the first engine I bolted down. This is a couple engines. I had a Puck, was it a 50cc, 49cc Puck automatic Puck engine, and man, those things was cool. It was really cool. It probably went 40 miles an hour, if not a little bit more. But man, it was really fun. I enjoyed it. Plus, the gear ratio was different at the time. I think I had a 40 tooth, and I think Pucks have bigger tooth than a 40 tooth, so I was getting a little bit more top end, or more top speed. Plus, it's a lot lighter than a Puck. And I had a Puck engine. I made custom motor brackets, because this frame has the mounts like that. I made a custom motor mount to bolt onto this, and then it went up, and the Puck engine fit. Then I took that off, and then I put a Wizard, Wizard engine from like those Wizard motor bikes. I put a Wizard engine. I also made custom brackets, and I had a Wizard engine. It was on there, but it was really slow on the Wizard. It only went like 25, I say, because the Wizard engine was running really poorly, and I had a leaky head gasket. So what I did, I completely rebuilt that engine. And when I rebuilt it, I fixed the head gasket. I did whatever I did to that motor, and then the motor didn't want to start. I kept on having carburetor issues, so I swapped carbs and it'll start and run, and then it just wouldn't want to run right. Something about that engine was, I think it was the magneto going out, because sometimes before I did the rebuild, the motor would run, but then the magneto or the light, because the light would turn on when the bike's running, but the light would be really, really dim. And I had a few wizards before where the light was really bright. When the motor's running, the light was bright. I had one with the battery was completely dead, useless battery, but the light would be super bright. And this one had a battery too, but probably dead, but it just didn't want to charge, or like something was wrong with the charging system. So that's the reason why the Wizard engine came out like kind of quick, because I wanted a running bike, and I sold the Puck engine. And with the Puck engine, I ended up buying, I think, a GT something from Bikeberry or Gas Bike or something. It had like a reed valve setup with a big carburetor, a CNC head, and I think the whole kit was only like $160 at that time. This was a year ago, right? So, and I think now they don't even have bikes for 160, motors for 160, but I don't know. It's been a while since I bought one. This is, like I said, $20 flea market engine, but the intake was right here and had the big old carb and CNC head, and that motor sucked when I first started up. Took a long time to start. After it ran for a week or two, it started breaking in, and then the motor started going a little bit faster. But I think the jets were wrong or something, and the bike felt kind of powerful. I like the throttle response. It had like a vroom vroom, like a nice little clean flow to it, but it just lacked in power. I was hoping to go pretty fast, but I think the top speed of that engine was about 35. And so this bike was always a slow bike, but it looked pretty when it was done, because these are Worksmith rims, and luckily the back rim has dust, so you could like clean up the back rim. The back rim looks nice when it's clean, but the front rim shot because the chain and the oils of the exhaust is right here, so it shoot the oils of the exhaust. So slowly it protected the chrome plating. You can see, and most of it will clean up. So the chrome plating, and then these are Worksman rims, so they have the nice thick spokes. You can see how big the spokes are, big old nipples. I like these. I got these rims from a bike that I bought, and it had them on there, and I just put the rims on this one. I think the forks were on another bike that I bought, and I put those forks on here. So I bought a bunch of random bikes at a certain period of time, reasonable prices, and I would get them and kind of snag some parts and replace the parts and change it up a little bit and get it running better, because most people sell their bikes when they're running terrible. So I'll do little upgrades and changes. But yeah, like I said, but this motor's a different one. It has these little holes here. I'm not mistaken, this is like a different style cylinder. I don't know right off the gate to say, oh yeah, this is a GT80, this is a GT40, this is the Z40, this is the Y100 or whatever. I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is the size heads on the 49cc and the 80cc, because that was years ago when I was more into it, because I had 49cc's before I swapped to the 66/80cc heads and cylinders, because now they're supposedly faster. But my 49 millimeter or 49cc engine, the original one I had, was a smaller head, 49cc, but that thing, it was super fast. It was 48 to 49 miles an hour. It took a while to pick up that speed, but it went 48 miles an hour. I had the Speedo app on my phone. At that time, I had like super fast internet, so I had GPS on my app, and I would ride fast, and I'll be with one hand, going that fast, one hand holding it, just looking at the speed, and it'll be like 36, 37, 38, 30, and it'll be like, whoa, and then it was like 40, and I'm whoa, and then 48, and I was like, yeah, boy. But that engine, or not engine, but that bike was on a Dyno GT. A Dyno GT, I don't know what style. It had like some checkers and stuff like that, and they faded off. And a nice bike, real heavy duty, quality bike. It had a CNC sprocket. It had like a leather style seat, not this one, but like a cheapier one, like aftermarket, or maybe it was a good one. Maybe it was Brooks, but and it just had triple trees, heavy duty triple trees, not Monarch forks, not Springer forks, not the eBay triple trees with the shocks or triple trees, just metal. Those suck. Here, let me show you why I say they suck. I told my brother, man, you're gonna need to swap those forks, because he bought the Zeta. See, I gave him the Diamondback stem, Diamondback bars, it says Diamondback, and I gave him the Diamondback forks and the hydraulic brakes. The guy is just too lazy to work on his bikes, and he doesn't want to put hydraulic fluid in his thing. Oh, I guess it's not here at the moment. See, this is a bike that he started tearing down. He was making fun of me, like, man, I'm gonna get this one fixed. It's gonna be faster on your bike. He painted the rims. Now they're dirty, but he painted them like glitter. He was going on like a rat rod style theme. It was coming out good, but he just fell asleep on it. Yeah, I don't know where it's at, but I was gonna show you how gnarly these triple trees got. They fucking twisted. It was crappy ass triple trees. But anyway, back to this build. Like I said, I'm gonna do that. I have a couple carburetors where I know they're at, and I don't know which was the one I took off here. I just don't know. Basically, I want to go fast with this motor, but I want to run the NT carburetor. NT carburetor. I want to run the stock cylinder, whatever head, and whatever exhaust makes it go faster. First, I'm gonna get it going. In a while, I don't even have a throttle. I'm gonna be looking for one, or buy one, or do something. But yup, I'm probably gonna leave it all ratty and terrible the way it looks. And you can see I wrapped some tape and something else in here. I forgot what was this. I guess it was just a rag. My paint after years. Because it will be rattling, and then it'll just eliminate the paint. You can see it has primer underneath here and raw metal. Yeah, this is just a base coat, automotive paint base coat. Really protecting from the rust. Like, this ain't rust, this is just gunk. I'm pretty sure if I wash it, it's gonna look a lot nicer. But I am gonna leave it all dusty because I'm not there yet to make this thing look pretty again. I also have a stainless steel tank. Not sure if I showed it to YouTube before. Not there. I don't know where it's at, so I can't just say, oh, there it is. The gas tank I'm making. Basically, it looks like this one. It looks like that, just a little skinnier. And not as pretty, because this one's all polished stainless steel that I hand polished. Oh, not hand polished, I used the machine polished, and then I hand polished. But anyway, yeah. This is gonna be hopefully you stuck around to watch the full 20 minutes. I know, I'm sorry. Like, subscribe, comment on my videos. This is gonna be an announcement to those who like watching my bullshit. This could be boring for you, but right now, hopefully you don't just click the page right now or channel or change to new video. Announcement. I'm gonna enter in a race. Motorized bike racing on a track. It's in SoCal, California. That's Los Angeles area, and it's called SoCal Racing. And people from maybe around the nation or wherever, uh, around the United States, they're gonna be there showing off their rides. You know, they like going to different tracks to race, so this is one of them. Too bad there wasn't like a circle track. If it was a circle track, I would take my Indian board track replica. This one's more based off a Harley, believe it or not. But anyway, I would take my Indian board track replica and go around circles and try to beat them, because that thing's not that good for turning. I need bars like this up higher and a little bit nicer stem. Oh yeah, I lost this nut right here. I lost the actual cap for it, so I put this big ass nut here, or this big old Allen head, and this is actually off a Colt BMX because I made it to threadless. This was threaded, so I put a Colt BMX threadless thing. I shaved the threads off and then I banged it in there and I welded it. Works perfect. But I'm gonna enter a race. I'm gonna race my Deadpool bike, and I'm gonna enter this bike on it's called the super stock category. Basically, you need to have a stock cylinder, stock Chinese bottom end, pretty much a China doll, that's what these are called, and a stock NT carburetor. I'll figure out if I need a stock intake or not, but this is a bigger intake, like you can see, so hopefully this is good enough. I might port it a little, because there's some nice meat on it. My brother was telling me you should port it, so then the cylinder, I don't know if I want to port the cylinder. If I could get this bike to go at least 45, which is going to be kind of hard, but if I get a 45, without porting and, just adjusting bullcrap and figuring out, because I do have some jets for those stock carburetors. I think they're kind of hard to get, or maybe they're easy. I don't know, but I got jets for the stock NT carburetor, so I'm going to try to jet it a little, and I'm going to try to hit that 45 mark. I know people are over there hitting 80 miles an hour on a fucking motor like this with the NT carburetor, because they do some gnarly porting, I bet. But I don't have that special machinery. My Dremel's down for the count. If I'm going to do port, I'm going to have to go buy a new Dremel, so there's that issue. But if I could hit 45 miles, I'll enter this bike in the super stock category. I'm going to put just the stock gas tank and be rattling. I'm going to tie it down with some zip ties and call it a day, and take it on the track with this tire and that tire, that front rim all rusty, and the shocks. And people are going to be like, man, you're taking the junk over there. Yep. Well, this is my super stock, because I don't want to go out there just to race my Minerali 70cc hybrid engine and go out there just to lose and not really have fun, just to enter in one category of race. There's multiple categories. If I had gnarly engines where you could consider having custom ported cylinders, like sleeved reed intakes, big carb, everything to the fullest to make this thing go super fast, like a different clutch, whatever, all that. That's the other category where it's not super stock. It's just stock China girl something. You can see these bars here are actually Wizard bars. They're a lot heavy duty, and they have this little hole here for the throttle to go in here. This ain't cheap China crap. This is actually a little better. But anyway, sorry for the long video. Bullshit, and I'll talk. I'm gonna do that. But yeah, hopefully I do 45. If I'm running 45, I'll be happy if I get 6th place. I don't know how many places or how many people are gonna be racing, but that'd be pretty cool just to get up top 5 maybe. But I really doubt it on this one here. It's just not practical when it's not built to race. I never built this one as a racer, but I'm gonna run with this engine. Probably not even wipe too much. Not gonna worry about that. And I'm gonna enter this one for the super stock category. Hopefully just my maneuvering be able to maneuver on this bike, because this bike maneuvers pretty nice. I'm able